Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Have You Heard? My name's Richard, and as you can see from the title, today we're listening to Chris Squire and his magnificent solo album Fish Out of Water. And we'll be listening to Lucky Seven. Um, I could have chosen any of the songs, of course, because it's such a lovely album. But Lucky Seven always just felt a little bit special to me. Um, Maybe it's because I'm an optimist and always think that seven's lucky. So anyway, um, yeah, Lucky Seven. This particular CD is I hold it quite dear because it's a 2018 compilation. Insofar, there's two discs. There we go. There's a new stereo mix done by Jacko Jaksic. And then on the second disc, there's a remaster of the original album done by Pascal Byrne. Um, Now, I don't think we're listening to either of those actually on the video today. We're going back to the original album, which I think is the best thing to do. You can't beat the original, can you? But this is lovely, and the new stereo mix is pretty good. Although on the liner notes, the extensive liner notes, Jacko talks about how he moved quite a bit around from some sounds from one place to another, I suppose from there to there, and vice versa, whatever these experts do. Um, but it sounds great to me, but I really wanted to do the original today. So let's have a listen first of all to the song, remind ourselves just how wonderful this track is, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it afterwards. Okay, right. So here we go. It's Lucky Seven from Chris Squire, released in the UK in November 1975. of course, it bleeds right into Safe Canon Song. Um, it's almost 7 minutes. It's about 6 minutes 54 seconds. So another 6 seconds, and we could have had lucky 7 minutes in 7/8 time, and we would have had the full trifecta. Um, I bought this in early 1976, so I've had this in my collection for 24, 40, yeah, gosh, yes, 49 years. It'll be 50 years next year that I bought it. But this is November. Of course, this is the 50th anniversary of the album coming out in the UK. Uh, I hadn't realised that. I mean, that's as good a reason as any to choose it, isn't it? I mean, wow. Um, it's such an amazing album, and I think it took a lot of people by surprise. It took me by surprise, I have to admit. I did not think that as amazing a bass player as Chris is or was with Yes, I didn't expect an album like this. It is magnificent from start to finish. First of all, his vocals are superb, and I didn't expect them to be that strong, particularly after listening just a couple of weeks earlier. I had bought Steve Howe's solo album. Of course, they all released solo albums at the same time, didn't they? More or less. And Steve Howe's Beginnings was a lovely album, except for the vocals, and he did them all himself. And I didn't expect those to be as disappointing as they were. Sorry, Steve. Um, but Chris is a magnificent, uh, and he's the first to admit that he is ably supported by Andrew Price Jackman, who did all the arrangements, all the orchestral arrangements. He played acoustic and electric piano on the album, and of course was an old friend of Chris's, going back to when they both were in the Sin before Yes was even thought of. Um, and of course, Andrew's brother Greg is the engineer on the album, so they're a close knit, almost family team. And then Chris just chooses the right people to play on the album. First of all, he gets Bill Bruford on drums. Um, Great choice. Patrick Moraz plays organ and synthesizer. I don't think we hear that on this particular track. Um, Mel Collins from King Crimson is on sax, and Jimmy Hastings is on flute. Jimmy's was one of the go-to woodwind guys on the British rock scene in the 70s. Uh, and of course, Andrew Price Jackman is playing electric piano there. And it's hard to describe just how interesting it is, but you're moving all the time. Back to my old funky stuff. I seem to be talking a lot about funk at the moment, and I have no idea why. I've never done that in my life before. But everything I'm choosing at the moment seems to have a kind of funky feel. um, it's yes. As I said, you could choose any track on the album, and it would be magnificent. Um, I uh, I looked on YouTube to see how many reactors have reacted. There's the usual suspects, about five or six, who do all the yes stuff and then go down the rabbit hole and do all the deep cut yeses and then go on to the solo stuff. Um, and but that's about it. Uh, and this music needs to be spread far and wide, doesn't it? It needs to be shown to everybody who has a little bit of inkling of joy for music. I can't imagine how people would not like this if they just gave it a chance. Uh, but of course, it did well enough. It got into the top 20 ish in the UK, around top 40 or 50 in the States, I think. I have the numbers, but I've forgotten them. Um, but of course, yeah, the Yes guys all did their solo albums in 75 and early 76 to varying degrees of success. Of course, John's Elias of Sun Hillow came out the last of them all because it took him so long to do everything himself. And we'll be doing some music, if not the whole album, in various stages further down the line, because that has to be listened to again. Um, Chris's was really good. Um, Steve's was really nice, apart from the vocals. I didn't listen to Patrick Moraz's album, and I just heard a couple of that was the story of and a couple of tracks from Alan White's Ramshackled. Um, I didn't feel like I wanted to buy those albums. I wasn't that excited about them. Sorry, guys. I think perhaps I should have a listen again, quite frankly, because as you move on in life, your ears do change and your tastes do change. You actually become more open, I think, to listening to stuff that you might have just pushed aside because you were so um, into a particular type of music at that time in your life. So I should give them another go. I really should, and I think I probably will. I'd be keen to hear any comments from anyone watching today. What you thought, first of all, of Fish Out of Water, and we have to give a recommendation, of course, to the gentleman who took the photo of Chris on the front cover, and it's none other than manager Brian Lane, the man who arranged the loan for Fragile is taking photos now of band members for their solo album covers. I think it's lovely. Um, didn't know he was a photographer. Uh, so yes, I'd be interested to hear what you guys think of um, this song. I know you'll love it, and I'm sure there's loads of fans out there who love it. But what do you think of the other solo albums? Should we do some of them? Um, Please like the video, sort of click that little thumbs up button. That would be most appreciated by me. It helps the video get out to more people. Um, this is our 53rd video, so we've got a bit of a catalogue now for newcomers to look back and sample. Um, we're up to 190 subscribers now, which every day we're getting some more and more, which is so exciting. So thank you everybody for subscribing, and I hope we get more and more. We're trying to build a community here. Well, that's my aim anyway, to build a community that can share music through the channel. And we have been up and running now on YouTube for 2 months. In fact, it's 2 months and a day. On yesterday's video, I forgot to mention it was the 2 month anniversary. So for 2 months and a day, we have been gracing YouTube screens, and long may that continue. So until the next one, which will be tomorrow, I'd just like to say thank you for watching, and bye everybody.